bump. We got a little audio back, but I'm still matrixing within the matrix. I'm not sure why that's happening. We need the engineer, the audio engineer we fired. I took over that job. Market Vitals. HFR from the floor. Mistrade Matt Davio. It's the dog days of summer, Matt, but we have some interesting chart developments that we're going to get to.
The June swoon in late July.
Exactly. Sell in May and go away. All right. May, maybe not May. Matt, we want to cover a couple of things because I think it's...
Hey, Bob, new lows. I like saying that because we haven't heard that in a while. New lows. Changing dynamic. We'll see how long the changing dynamic can last. Yeah.
We talked about this last week, Matt. The mixed, not just mixed messaging, but the mixed information. As when we brought this up, we talked about how New Zealand now was facing large numbers of children very sick because of compromised immune systems from sitting in their basement masked up and not having a healthy immune system that is constantly battling a viral load out there. Anyway, I saw that and we talked about that, and then I saw this.
Why the hell would anybody sit in their basement with a mask on with your family?
Matt, then I saw this. And Parker Cattle, thank you for liking and share. Wesley Jensen, why ranch kids don't get sick very often. A little girl, she's licking the salt block that the horses need. You know, Matt, I spent a lot of time on a farm in my life, and I for sure have tasted the salt block just to see how, salty it tasted.
But did you stick your tongue on a frozen metal aluminum?
No, I was never stupid enough to do that.
My friend did. I got him
stupid enough.
I got him to do that.
I see this, and then I
had to call his mom with the hot kettle of water to come over.
I'm reminded of bioflora, and another reason why the African nation or the African continent, I should say, doing much better COVID-wise is some place. I think I've seen that up to 90% more gut flora in the average African than the average cleanly-driven American citizen. Anyway, I think bigger though.
Maybe we all need to go back to welled water. Maybe that's what the story is there, where they do have water. It's welled, and they're getting it right from the ground. And Mother Earth provides what you need to stay safe and avoid,
Well, for sure, a healthy immune system is partly driven by how much stress you put it under on a constant basis. Nuance, Matt. There was no nuance about this, though. Morikawa now making you what? What's your majors now? What are you in the majors?
Well, this year I'm 4-4. I won the last two last year when I started this new strategy. So 6 of 6. You just basically put money on the top 10 to 15, and you cover your ass, because only 6 guys. And you saw it. I mean, this one played out with perfect weather, without a deterrent from the outside and the weather. The best guys. I mean, the top 4 guys I all had. It was such an easy bet, and I think I had like 8 guys in the top 10. So because the best are going to play great in the good weather, and some something freaky or weird, which the British Open.
You actually almost need the nasty weather to develop a story other than the
correct. But the other 3 majors are always played on nice courses and perfectly manicured. Long rough for sure in the U.S. Open, etc., like we saw this year, and some of that rough this year that they weren't in, but that shit.
The whole thing is the wind, man. If there's not a lot of wind, these guys are just too good.
Well, and it was a heat wave. What they were calling for, people to calling for them to stand down because what was it, 79 degrees there or something? Like it's really hot.
Super spreader event.
Right.
Matt, let me share because the other heated story. Formula One, and I know our friend Longplex is a very big Formula One fan. Anyway, this guy Hamilton, you can see from this picture, he actually clips the other guy, right?
But the other guy's cutting him off.
Firstly, they're hotly debating whether this.
You're gonna have to carry the show. My video is gone for the day. It just went.
He gone. All right. Well, we're gonna see if you can share, at least
Yeah.
share a screen.
We should be able to.
Anyway, when the guy wiped him out and he hit the wall with 56 G's of force and then walked away from it.
Give us an idea of
These
how many
guys are athletes. Number one.
Give us an idea of how much 56 G's are. Is that
I have no idea.
like did the Kitty Hawk that Richard Branson went in even get 56 G's?
No chance.
Right.
No chance. I'm
Exactly.
saying.
That's what I'm saying.
No chance.
It was just a regular airplane. These guys are more rocket men than Richard Branson was.
All right, man. Anyway, there's a bunch of hobbaloo. I mean, it looked like regular competitive driving to me. It didn't look like he wiped the guy out. Shut up.
Well, it looks like the guy that turned the corner cut it a little earlier.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, slow down.
And I didn't see it. I don't have a horse in the game. I could care the F less, but there you go.
All right, Matt. Then we're gonna get to some price discovery here. Canada. This
New lows.
US Depart-
New lows. 42.27 new lows. We're 10 points from that 17. Just keeping you up.
U.S. Department of Fear. Canada has redefined human rights as the Canadian Museum of Human Rights now stepping all over your private medical data. Those human rights apparently unavailable now for Canadians.
Oh,
A trend pushing worldwide.
You know, you're not going to be able to get into that place this summer. I don't even know why you're going on that trip.
Anyway, and then the other one that I cannot believe it is not making more news everywhere was this little tidbit from our Premier Trudeau to the north. And they have fully bought, I don't know, Matt, what was it? It was like 30 million jabs.
35 million.
Jabs a year for this fall, 22, 23, and 24.
Right.
4 years of jabs. I am not sure people really understood this trajectory when it was all being packaged and delivered. Not only that, $19.50 up to $125. That's what the jab companies already get. And maybe that's explaining why Moderna was through the roof again this morning. Yes, for sure. We can see your screen now.
Beautiful. So why don't we talk about that? Because this is what Joe Biden meant, by the way, and I'm going to talk about this in a little different way. It really doesn't have anything to do with Justin Trudeau and his weird ways. But yeah, look at this stock. A couple things I just want to point out. The market cap, Bob, now today of Myrna. I call her Myrna. She's lovely Myrna meter maid. 122.5 billion. Okay. Remember the whole failed infrastructure Biden, debacle that he was pushing the first couple months? Well, that peaked 246. I'm going to look at two stocks here. 246, we peaked. We're down to 202. So
and
we're
that's
now
Caterpillar, an infrastructure benefiting company.
This is what I would call a real infrastructure play. And this has been, they've lost 20%. We're now in bear market territory, traded down to 198. So technically, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You want to be short Caterpillar and Deere. These have paid off handily in less than a month. All right. So you've made big money here if you heeded our warning and took that short. On the other side, John Deere. And by the way, I'm going to point out their market cap on John Deere, 104 billion. And let me come back to Caterpillar. Caterpillar today, Bob, 110 billion. So they're kind of cutting up that market share hand in hand, right? But what's interesting and what I'm going to call the true infrastructure play is this right here, Moderna. Infrastructure, baby. It's all about vaxes and quaxes and test meds, which all of these are not vaccines. They're still test medicines, Bob.
Well, I think the interesting thing was a lot of the threads this morning was the stock market selling off because of the Delta variant. The stock market, in my opinion, is selling off because there's a whole lot of chatter about the vax failure and where do we go from here?
That's correct. And that will show up eventually. And but to finish my point, 122 billion. So Moderna is now worth not the total of Deere and Caterpillar, but it's worth respectively more than Deere and more than Caterpillar.
We
Unbelievable.
talk about this,
I mean, this is unbelievable to me, Bob. This is
yeah.
what's wrong with this market right now. If this is in fact our infrastructure, we're effed. We're effed.
You could say that, Matt. You could say the F word. We don't have a sponsor yet that's going to say, "Hey, you can't say that."
We're fudged. Fucking
Anyway,
fudged.
jabs
Fucking
away, jabs away. Matt, another thing that's on my radar. All right, this was shared from somebody on the Twitter sphere, and John Phipps from Ag Web. And now, if you're not familiar, and we've talked about this, that's not a new development for workers. From my understanding, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 stories, 7. I can't even count it. 8 stories of vertical hog farming. You got 4 buildings. I mean, I think these are like 80,000 hog units. Like,
Right.
Where does that manure go? Well, I know this from a long time ago, Matt. There's only 3 things you need to know to be a plumber. You know what they are? The boss is a prick, payday's Friday, and shit don't flow uphill. And so I'll tell you where the manure goes. It goes downhill somewhere. And then this
It goes downstream into your vaccine or your quaxine.
Well, then this shared just today by the Huntsman. This guy's awesome, man. Heilongjiang, Jilin, and Inner Mongolia have all been experiencing intense flooding with many thousands of hectares of crops wiped out. These are the number 1, 2, 3, and 7, respectively, for PRC corn output. Inner Mongolia, greater than 40% of PRC soybean production. And now 2 dams have broken.
Dude, I've been talking about this with you for months. Watch the water. It's happening. It's
look at this dam go.
Yeah,
I mean, Are you freaking kidding me?
and again, this is going to be interesting how this plays out. Will the mass media even cover it? There's supposedly there's hundreds of millions of people that live in these regions, and supposedly they've moved them already to these ghost cities that nobody was living in. And then they're going to claim, people died, natural catastrophe, poor China, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yet it's all going to be, and then all your Bitcoin rigs that are sitting underneath those dams washed away too, by the way.
Well, amazingly too here, the front month soybeans, not really respecting any of this news, down 65 cents, almost 5%.
Well, too much water is not good for beans.
Well, you would think they're going to need to buy some beans at some point. Obviously, this chart has gone so parabolic, right? That very dangerous to trade. But the new crop not nearly as affected as the front month. Nove beans, 14 cents lower, nowhere near what that front contract is. Corn lower, wheat higher. I don't know. Between that and let me just look at the hogs here for a second on the weekly, because again, another commodity that has gone fully parabolic. First case of African swine fever in Germany in their commercial hog operations. So hold on a second. I got to stop that. For me, any kind of pullbacks here, decent pullbacks. And for me, we're right in the middle here in August hogs. I think long-term, you still got to be bullish. It's just the price action has been so expanded that it's very, very, very leveraged and dangerous to trade any of these commodities. Anyway, Matt, let's get back.
Let me take a quick peek at beans, because I don't find it this shocking. It actually had a huge rally the last 2 weeks, right to the point of control for the 1 month chart, Bob. And so, yeah, we banged on it 147 or 1474, and we're just back filling in this hole that exists. So we kind of, we chopped around here. We went up, we went down. That's hence why you have these holes. We basically gapped up, gapped down, and then climbed back to that area, and you found sellers again. So this is why I always say, I don't even need to know. I want to know when the WASDA is and certain events. But other than that, the shorter term profiles will always tell you where the market, should respect and where it should go to. And it did. And it's still bullish, right? Beans are still bullish. So guess what? if
Well,
you
they're
miss,
on sale today.
if you miss the sale, or if you miss the sell up here, you have the buy down here. And and again, you start looking at a little longer time frames. These things haven't been looking that good for a while anyways. So, the rally there should have been respected. It was, and it sold off. But if you can pick it up down here at 1350 or so, I like that a little bit. If you want to, like you said, the leverage is for sure a part of it, but I'd rather buy 1340, 1350 than 1474.
Right on.
Right into the hole. So you got to respect the momentum. You got to respect the time frame that you're trading on. And if you're not trading a longer term time frame, then don't short term trade, right? Or vice versa. If you're trading a short term chart, you better know what the long term charts are still to proceed and take advantage of the bigger moves. The bigger moves are going to wipe away the smaller moves always. And you see it in a market like the SPCE today, where we're going to go to. I mean, we went from 41.26 to 43.84 in about 6 weeks, and we wiped it away in 2 days. That's how it works. That's how.
All right, man. Here's speaking of the SPCE, because we have not talked right side of the parabola in the SPCE really since the washout in early 2020,
and we still can't talk about it.
And we still are not there yet. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. We're pinging on that weekly average that the standard deviation modeling is based off of. But we haven't got a close below that weekly average. We've basically had two closes here back 21 September of 20 and here 26 of October 20. That's it, Matt. That's it as far as closes below this average.
Right.
And obviously a lot of week left. But again, we said this on Friday. I went home short. The 610 was telling a much different story than the weekly. And you got to work fractals, right? Here's that 610. Now the 610 is actually looking like it's more right side parabola driven.
Yeah. As is the 45 minute, which you can see right here. And I think we will come back to trade like this 4150 level. It's kind of a key zone. And that's for the last quarter, right? So you go from a week to 2 weeks to a month to 3 months. That's kind of how I like to look at things. Those are the most traders, most active traders trade, trading desks look at 1 to 2 weeks to a month to 2 to 3. There's very few guys that are doing Paul Tudor Jones shit, which is they put on a trade and they're going to hold it for months and months, right? It just depends on what time frame you're trading on. But because Paul Tudor Jones says to be long or short, it better match up with your time frame, otherwise it doesn't matter. And that's all I'm pointing out here, is that your time frame is all that matters. But the longer time frames override the shorter ones in the end of the day. So you want to know where those longer time framed areas are, because when those fall, you're going to be like, why did that not hold on my shorter time frame? Because
why is this planted in my ass?
Right.
There's another way to say that.
But this is the problem. Like, short-term traders don't look at the long-term picture, and they need to, because you don't need to look that hard. I mean, I can look at the last 3 months and say our point of control we're still bullish. But right now we're heading down towards that number. We're heading down towards 4150. And that's where, I think that 4100 to 4150 is going to be like the battle zone.
Right on. Speaking of that, Matt, two things that keep in mind for the rest of the week, and that is a recapture of momentum on the weekly. You need to get back above 42. What the hell is it? 42.92 recaptures up momentum on the weekly. Yeah. And your 4150 level, 4160 is the weekly lower momentum. And, you got to go back to the washout from COVID early 2020 when we were in any kind of position like that on the weekly chart.
I told you yesterday when we were playing tennis, or as the market was opening, as we were finishing there at 3:15 or 3:30, I said 43.47 is the weekly number. And so we're now 115 points below that, right? So if you missed this move down, it's hard to get short here. But rallies up to that level, 43.40, should be sold this week. Now we're 100 points from that. I don't know if we're going to go back up 100 points, but it's also hard for me to get long because we just started rolling over. So
yeah, I know. I agree. And
I've already sold this morning at 56. I covered most of those at 30 when we dipped to a new low as we were coming on there, and I'm riding some. I still think we're going to see 42.17 today. We'll see. Who knows? I'm just trading.
All right, Matt, we got two-way markets. Thank God.
Well, at least for half a day.
Anyway, bear
Um,
market
so we have,
possibly developing.
you know, it's the quiet time. Interesting article I saw over the weekend. I wanted to get I don't know if you saw this yet. I posted it in the Market Vitals room, but I wanted to get your 2 cents on this because I think this is really actually an interesting story that nobody, I
Yeah,
love
I
this.
read the whole article.
So give me your take on it because I think this is a factor for places like Oakland, the Oakland A's. I mean, the Oakland Raiders have already gone to Vegas, right? Maybe Green Bay needs to go to Mesa, and Mesa has a team. I mean, there's enough population now in Phoenix.
Dude, you are talking. As a Detroit Lion fan, I love the way you point. You're poking the Green Bay Bear.
Yeah, but Green Bay, I mean,
Dude, they lost 150 million because they couldn't sell a jersey.
Yeah, but you know what? Green Bay is the same size as Bend, Oregon. So why not make it the Bend Packers? There's more money.
You got the whole state.
There's more money. There's more money in Bend than there is in Green Bay. And
I thought more interesting in the article was the fact that the NFL prohibited any kind of public ownership in the future of any NFL franchise. How about that? They closed the club. You know what, Green Bay, you get to be grandfathered in, but we are never letting a decentralized authority come in and own a team. I thought that was
so that tells me this franchise won't last forever in the manner that it is. It won't be publicly owned like it is. So that's what's interesting about it.
When does training camp open? It's got to be goddamn close here. And by the way, the only thing that is going to save Penn Gaming, Matt, is that chart looks completely busted. They had a nice clawback early today. I don't know where they are now, but
well, it's been battling 70. It's 66, only down 15 cents. But yeah, again, it's
here. Let me share just quickly here on the nuance.
It's still going. It's still working its way back to $32 clearly, and it's
and this. You can't change, unless they do something incredible this week. The fact that lower band now on the weekly is kicked back south, I call that collapsing potentiality. It just looks like it wants it. It looks like it has to go test this $52 area. What's your thoughts?
I think it's not looking good. I mean, I traded down to 63 this morning, dead cat bouncing here. I mean, you look at a 610, Bob, and this thing is full on right-sided. And it has, it's got a shoulder here that it hasn't even gotten to, which is at 53. Man, this thing is, I mean, I see it going to $30. I just don't see it any other way. I mean, it could bounce, but, wherever, if it finds a bottom, it's got to mark, it's oversold on RSI momentum. It's got a lot of things coming for a bounce, but it will just be just a bounce. And I don't see it getting over, say, 85 anytime soon. That's this little, pocket little profile volume action is, basically from 60 to 85. So it could bounce into that area, which would be a great time to put back on a short. And this is just a super, super powerful conducting magnet that it's going to come back to. You just can't. This is what I mean, when you have so many hands that buy and sell at these price levels, that's all it means. It's going to come back to it. It's got to see who's the strong hands and who's the weak hands. And
right on.
These people are long screwed. They're Davy Boyd and they're holding.
Well, now they own a piece of the Packers.
Yeah,
right?
now they're the Packers.
No dividend available.
Right. I mean, it's a depreciating asset right now. But it was insane. I mean, it was nothing but an insane, at 142, this thing was worth 22 billion and it's still worth 10 billion. I mean, again, to me, gambling is a commodity. There's a bazillion brokers that you can put your online bet. You don't have to bet through your state. There's a lot better options through a lot different platforms. So it's just commoditized, dude. It's a noise machine. And the noise machine that Davey makes is not going to last forever, is how I see it.
Right on. All right, Matt, I'm not sure we got anything else to go here today. Mind your mows, mind your profiles. I am excited for at least some two-way action for the rest of the summer. I think it's got potential. So many stories percolating, right? And I don't know, Matt.
Infrastructure, Bob.
Infrastructure. Get your jab.
All you need to know, infrastructure. Yep.
Get your jab. Sign up for your jab next year and the year after and the year after and the year after.
Yep.
Wow. Who saw that coming down the line?
Bill Gates, Anthony.
All right, Lee, what's 726 inside the chat here? 726. I'm not good with seance numbers. 726. It's 719 right now.
Oh, the camp's open. He's telling you.
Camp's open. Thank you very much.
A week from
NFL
today.
camps. What's your favorite bear, Matt?
My favorite bear? Dick Butkus.
No. You shared it inside the community. The Russian dancing bears oh my God.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. How about this for this in the world we live in, by the way, this is beautiful. This headline says it all. Bear mauls circus trainer twice in front of horrified crowd, and they all had their phones out, of course, filming it. And then the circus says it didn't happen. It's just like listening to Jen Psaki. It's the same thing. Not true. Not true.
And when you watch the video, the guy grabbing the bear the second time, that was just priceless. Why do they got to put the bears in the skirt, by the way?
Well, that's why he's pissed off. Because in the bear world, there are males and females. There's no LGBTQ, XYZ, LMNOPs.
Oh.
It's just male and female.
All right, Matt, I'm going to identify as a trader for the rest of the day and go long and short. You have a great day. Thank you so much. Please reshare, tweet, join the community, marketvitals.io. Our motto is don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining. And in trading, you could have whatever other support system for your beliefs around you that you want and whatever other thing that you want. But in trading, it's very important that risk and reward and the actual levels that you actually participate in around those two things are the most important thing in trading. And that's what we try to provide here at marketvitals.io. Matt, thank you again for another fantastic show. Market Vitals, the show, marketvitals.io, the website. You have a great day, Matt.
Thanks, Bob.